In my personal opinion, the greatest weapon the Imperium owns has finally been revealed. Literally, the secret is out of the box now, and it's in possession than none other than the Grey Knights. If the Grey Knights were to activate this weapon, it would bring untold disaster upon the Imperium and could actually be its downfall. So let's jump in and let's get waffling about this weapon of mass destruction. A quick spoiler warning: if you're reading The End of the Death Part 1, 2, or 3, I am going to be talking about a character that's mentioned in those books. If you don't want to be spoiled, please leave the video right now. It's your first and only warning. Now, for those who are faithful and have stuck around, let's get into the bulk of this, and it's all about the Terminus decree, because this has been one of the most talked about things with theories, fandom for a long time, and we now have the actual secret revealed to this. Like, some people used to say it was like a note that led you to like one of the lost Primarchs. It was like gene stuff for the Primarchs to clone them to bring them all back. It was like the Emperor's off switch that would blow up the Golden Throne and take Terror out and all the warp and everything like that. So many mad theories, but now we actually have what it is 100%. Now, to understand this weapon, we first have to look at its creator, and the creator is a chap called Foe, and he's being kept prisoner during the Siege of Terror in the Imperial Palace. He is literally a figure from the Age of Strife. He's thousands upon thousands of years old, and he's like a gene crafter. He knows everything about this. He's basically like a space wizard when it comes to this type of stuff. And during the Siege of Terror, as Horus and his troops are literally invading the palace, blowing up walls, he's in his like little scientist lab being watched by the Custodes, by the way, because they don't trust him at all. And he makes this weapon that targets Astartes. Not only Astartes, but their Primarchs as well. Now, you would think, this is great, let's unleash this, let's take down the Sons of Horus, the Night Lords, you know, all the traitors that are attacking the planet. This is one of the best weapons conceived. It could literally stop Horus in his tracks. And you'd be right, it would stop Horus, because not only would it kill the Sons of Horus, it would also kill their Primarchs as well, because it takes down Primarchs. But it doesn't stop at traitor Primarchs. It kills the entire Astarte gene lineage. So it's taking out loyalists and traitors. No more Dawn, no more Sanguinius. Well, it wasn't around that much anyway during the siege. No more Vulcan, no more Jagatai Khan. This weapon literally kills everything that is an Astarte, and this is why the Custodes wanted to keep it and were very, very concerned about it, because certain Custodes don't really trust Space Marines, even though the ones who are still loyal, we've seen that Space Marines have betrayed the Emperor, and the Custodes will never do that. So they ended up keeping this weapon just in case anything else was going to happen. Now, of course, the weapon wasn't released at Terra, because guess what? We've still got Space Marines, we've still got Primarchs. Primarchs are returning to the set and everything like that. But what we do know is that it was stored away, it was taken away in secret. It was called the Terminus decree, actually in the book, and now we know, since we got the Grey Knight law, that it is with the Grey Knights. They now hold this weapon, which again makes sense, because this was like a Malcador Emperor kind of sanction when it all was going on, and it was all happening at Terra. But the Grey Knights now potentially own the greatest weapon that the Imperium has. And the reason I call it the greatest weapon, because if you can take out every single loyalist Space Marine with like one click of a switch, or however it bloody works, released into the general public, and then that's it. It is more or less bringing the Imperium down to its knees. Yes, you've got, you know, the trillions of guard and stuff like that, but the Space Marines, these are the angels of death. These is what you need at the forefront of the battle to make that wedge for all your other forces to go in and decimate all the other races. And of course, Chaos Space Marines and stuff like that, they'd suffer massively at this. I just don't think this weapon should be used, just in case it falls into the wrong hands. Imagine Fabius Bile getting a hold of this. Imagine, Abaddon getting a hold of, well, I don't think Abaddon would use it, but I'm sure there's other forces out there, like the Eldar, or maybe like the Necrons, or, the Orcs. The Orcs will probably just throw it as a grenade or something, just playing around with it. But you get my point, right? This weapon is deadly to the Imperium, to the Space Marines, and if unleashed, it would cause uttermost disaster. Now, there is one more thing to add to this. Foe did say in the books that it can be tweaked a little bit to affect the general population, so humanity itself. So this, potentially, if it falls into the wrong hands, could literally be a humanity-ending weapon. That's what the Grey Knights own, potentially, in their inventory right now. So hopefully it stays locked away, it stays secure, and it never sees the light of day again. But, and this is a big but, what we do have at the end of the death book is that it seems Foe is still alive. He escaped. There's a lot of body switching and kind of weird stuff that happens in this, but Foe tries to escape. Aim on the Custodes who was watching him, technically kills him, but it's hinted at in the book that he cloned a body and put his conscience or something in there. And at the end of the death part 3, he comes back and he gets his big book of secrets and stuff like that, gives a little smirk, and then he disappears. So potentially the knowledge, maybe the character himself, he's survived, thousands of years before. What's not to say he's still surviving now in the current 40k lore? He's still out there biding his time, making these weapons of madness, and he potentially does have the power to bring down the Imperium. He's not the greatest fan of the Imperium. He's not the greatest fan of the Emperor himself. So potentially he is still out there. Maybe that's going to be wrapped up with some of the Eisenhorn, Beckwin, and Ravenous stuff that we're all waiting for with Pandemonium. Maybe he'll pop up in there. But I personally think he's still out there, and the potential of making that weapon is still out there as well, because he's out there and he's making all this mad stuff. Anyway, that is enough waffling from me. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. What do you think? Do you like that the Terminus decree has been revealed, or would you prefer that some things were kept a secret? Because I know a lot of people upon hearing this was like, oh, that's what it is then? I was hoping that they would keep this Terminus decree, something else. So the mad speculation, the theories are out there, like it could be keys to the lost Primarch cells, it could be to their location, it could be this, it could be that. But now we know what 100% it is. It is that gene-killing weapon for the Space Marines. Post your thoughts and feedback down below, and have a nice little chin wag down there, as we always do. See ya, have a great day, and bye-bye.